Hi guys, I'm Max from LRT, and today we're going to be talking about something that's going to improve your shooting. That is a Cant Level.
Here we have like a zero stop. Okay, so using use gun 1, go down.
Where we size them up, it's called softer sausage.
So why are these so important? Well, whether you're a hunter or a target shooter, these allow you to plumb your gun to gravity before you fire. What does that mean? Well, sometimes we see downrange deflection, and a lot of the time that's wind. However, if our gun is at an angle, what we can find is the shot actually goes left or right. Now, a 3-degree shift can move us up to 30 centimeters at 600 meters. Now that's very gun specific and ammo specific, but it shows you 3 degrees is tiny, and I wouldn't really be able to tell you that just by looking at it. So let's say that's 0. We could probably say somewhere around that little shift is 3 degrees. That's not a lot. And if that's going to throw us off that much, okay, we should probably be accounting for it. These can also save us a lot of time when mounting optics. We can put one of these on our scope way before we put it onto our gun. We can plumb the reticle to this level, or vice versa, meaning that if I take my sight off and put it onto a different gun, I then don't have to get loads of levels out. I can just make sure that the gun is level, put the sight on, and then make sure that both levels match. Or, really, the reticle being plumbed to gravity before we fire is a lot more important than the reticle just being plumbed to the bore. The bore can actually be slightly off and we can still have accurate shots. However, if we have cant and the whole system is canted left or right, then our accuracy will go to shit. This is the Arkin EP5. This is one of our spare scopes that we usually keep aside for people who join our classes and their reticle might be a little bit too simple or their scope can't dial. So we want to be able to just give them something so that they can get the most out of what we're then doing. If I'm having to take this off rifles and put it on rifles quickly at the start of the day, I want as little faff as possible, and that's where this bad boy comes in very handy. What I can do now, before I've ever put this onto a rifle, is I can plumb the reticle to this level. What that means is I can just pick this up, put it into any rifle, and then as long as this is plumb, I know that that's everything good to go. Saves time, saves hassle, and if you're in a pinch and you don't have that other level for the rifle, as long as the rifle's roughly good to go. Before you take that shot, make sure that this is plumb, and the bore being off center ever so slightly isn't going to be as big an issue as if the whole optic is tilted. Okay, so all I've got now then is a Arkin. I've just set it up in a tripod in a clamp. Don't need a rifle for this. All I want to do is get this level plumb to the reticle. All right, so I've got it facing out of a window, got a building out there, and it's got really nice contrasted plumb crisp line, right? So where the corner of the building is, perfectly, one side shadowy, one side's bright, and I'm just going to get the reticle. I'm going to zoom out so that I've got all of the reticle, or as much as I can, okay, for a reference point. All right, I'm going to line it up with there, and then we can start leveling this level. Level. Okay, make sure that your parallax is set to make sure that your reticle is actually in focus. Boom. Right, from here then, all I'm going to do is just make sure that my level is level. Once I'm happy, tighten up. Cool, now that's level. Top tip, remember, as you level or as you tighten your level, you'll find that those screws are going to move it ever so slightly. Tiny weeny, but as you can see, this one is slightly tight, and as it's tightened, it's kind of moved ever so slightly. So it's a little bit of being fiddly. However, it's worth getting it absolutely bang on. Once you're happy, that is it. I mean, I wouldn't say you could Loctite them. That's going to be pretty much on there for as long as I need that scope. It means I can chop it from rifle to rifle to rifle with absolutely minimal fuss. There's loads of different options out there. However, we just recommend get the one that fits your budget. Doesn't need to be fancy, doesn't need batteries, and is robust enough to deal with the shooting that you're doing.